They were a very tall humanoid species with usually blonde hairs and a very white skin. They avoided the sunlight because it hurt their skin and their eyes.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Radix here, one from 72, the Ultra Neutral. And I am neutral, even to the tall whites. Obviously, they cannot all be bad. But I heard something very, very disturbing last night, and listening to the comments and watching the chat on the live chat on Linda Morton Howe's show. You know, she recently, in the past few videos, has been doubling down on the tall whites are the good guys, and, you know, obviously the grays and the green people, they're all the bad guys, right? Like, but the tall whites are the good guys. So as I was on there saying, and I'm sure there were white people on there who were also agreeing with what I was saying, you know, about, you know, look, you're telling the entire world that the alien species that's here, that is the good guys, are the tall white guys. How does that, like, in most of the people who are, you know, on these channels or whatever in the UFO community that come out and say, hey, yeah, I've had interactions with tall whites, 100% of those people that I have seen so far, prove me wrong, because I haven't seen it, but 100% of those people are white people. So why is it that only white people see the tall whites and report back that the tall whites are all good guys, right? That's very, very disturbing. Even more disturbing than that is the fact that saying that they are the good guys, and also the reports coming back many, many times over. If you don't know much about the tall whites, look it up, you know, do your research. They are very sensitive to Earth's sun. They don't like Earth's sun. Earth's sun is too hard on them. It's too harsh on them. So it dawned on me very quickly last night as I was in the chat that, if the sun is a problem for these tall white beings, then how are they going to function on this planet with the sun, as, you know, as you all, as humans, enjoy that sun? Well, they'd have to block it out. So thus, it made a lot more sense of why they're checkerboarding the sky so much, or why they're trying to cover the sky so much. No, it's not because of the reptilians, because actually the reports are from the reptilians that they love the sun. They love to be out in the sun, that they get a lot of nourishment from the sun. It actually is more empowering to them. But the tall whites, it's the opposite. So tell me again, when they're blocking out your sun, they're covering and blanketing the sky, tell me again how these are your good guys. These are your saviors. And while you're telling me, because I'm open-minded to, you know, anything really, well, I will take everything on the fence and just see, you know, but tell me again how that is beneficial for you as a regular human. If you're going to be replaced and there's a more superior white, tall white being that's coming here, they're not going to make accommodations for you. They're blocking the sun everywhere. They're not, and if they're the good guys, then why have they been in the shadows? If they've been running stuff in this government for a very, very long time, since Harry S. Truman, not Truman. So if they're doing all of this and they're blocking out the sky, tell me again, and they're the good guys, why haven't they come forward to more of the humans and said, hey, you know, look, we do have a problem with the sun. It's a problem for us, and we're only going to cover a certain part. No, as far as I know, and as far as most likely you know too, the skies all over America, it doesn't matter where, all over America, get blanketed and are covered up so that these beings can walk freely among you without the sun being too harsh on them, because they come from a darker environment, a darker planet. Those are the good guys. Okay, sure.
The main task of these small plates, beside a role in our sexuality, is simply the regulation of our body temperature. And if we sit in natural or artificial sunlight, these plates become more blood-filled and the vessels become wider, and the sun is able to heat up our reptoid blood, which circulates through the body and through the plates, for many degrees, and that gives us a great pleasure.
What about your body temperature? You said that you enjoy to lay in the sun. What effect has this to your organism?
Answer: we are no mammals, and as reptiles our body temperature depends on the temperature of our surrounding. If you touch my hand you will maybe feel that it is colder than yours, because our normal body temperature is around 30 to 33 degrees Celsius. If we sit in the sun, especially naked and with our row of small back plates in the sun, our body temperature can rise for 8 or 9 degrees within minutes. This rise causes a production of many enzymes and hormones in our body. Our heart and brain and every organ becomes more active, and we feel then very, very good. You humans only enjoy being in the sun, but for us it is the greatest pleasure you can imagine. Maybe like your sexual excitement, we also enjoy swimming in very warm water or other liquids to rise our body temperature. If we are for some hours in the shadow, our temperature goes back to 30 to 33 degrees. This can cause no harm to us, but we feel much better in the sun. We have artificial sun rooms in the underground, but this is not the same for us like the real sun. There are special cave areas and tunnels with a strong UV light in every city, and we use that places to heat our blood. Furthermore, we have also some surface sun places in remote areas, especially in America and Australia.
Question: back to your and our own history. You've mentioned the race of the Elohim who have created our human race. From where did they come and how did they look like? What had exactly happened when they arrived? Are they our God?
Answer: the Elohim came from this universe, from the solar system you call Aldebaran in your maps. They were a very tall humanoid species with usually blonde hairs and a very white skin. They avoided the sunlight, because it hurt their skin and their eyes. This was absolutely unbelievable for a sun-loving species like us. They seemed to be intelligent and peaceful at the beginning, and we started a more or less friendly communication with them, but later they showed their real intentions and plans. They wanted to evolve the apes to a new breed, and we were a disturbing factor for them on their new zoo planet. At first, they caught around 10,000 or maybe even 20,000 of your simian ancestors, and they left the planet for some 100 years. When they returned, they brought your, now more human, ancestors back. Then they left Earth again for some thousands of years, and the primitive pre-humans lived together with us without major problems. They were just afraid of our aircraft and technology. The Elohim had taught their mind and enhanced their brain and their body structure, and they were now able to use tools and fire. The Elohim returned within 23,000 years 7 times and accelerated the evolution speed of certain of your kind. You must understand that you are not the first human civilization on the planet. The first advanced humans, who lived at the same time with less developed pre-humans, because the Elohim had experimented with different speeds and stages of evolution, with technology and speech existed around 700,000 years ago on this planet. Your scientists have not understand this, because they've found only the bones of the pre-humans and some primitive cave drawings showing advanced humans and flying devices. This genetically advanced human breed lived together with us, but they avoided contact with my kind, because the Elohim teachers had warned them with misleading purpose that we are evil beings and that we lie to them. Well, after some centuries the aliens decided to extinct their first creation, and they accelerated the evolution of a second and better test series, and so on and so on. Well, after some centuries the aliens decided to extinct their first creation, and they accelerated the evolution of a second and better test series, and so on and so on.
Ancient airplane that was found, the little gold airplane that they talk about often on Ancient Aliens, which Linda Morton Howe has been on Ancient Aliens many times. And I also want to say briefly 2 possibilities. Either she's been being manipulated and played, or she is part of the program. She knows, she's helping them. and she knows that there's this extinction, all this stuff is going on. I would like to believe that she is really innocent. She just wants to get down to the truth of things, and that these beings are appealing to her, so she is more apt to listen to them and to believe them no matter what they say. So I'm not here to demonize Linda Morton Howe at all. Just so you guys know, I absolutely don't think that she is the enemy or anything like that. So I just want to make that clear. But it also does make a lot of sense now when we go back and we look at that little gold airplane, and they've made models of it and shown that it actually flew. That, hey, when that was actually when there was a time when there were already airplanes in the skies from the previous civilization of humans, the sixth civilization of humans, that they had those airplanes, and they were doing the same thing. When the tall whites would come back, they would blanket the sky so that way they can conduct business openly on the planet before they go through their experiments and their extinctions again. So now we have to take another hard look at that gold airplane and take another hard look at history. But anyhow, with that, enjoy the rest of the time that you guys have left.
Yes, that is a common description. It has been said to me, look, they're that white, the color of a white copy sheet. Humans, since 1972, have been going out with tall whites and the Nordics out into other solar systems secretly. They haven't announced this on the Earth publicly. But there are military people, aerospace people, doctors who have talked to me about this. And that means that the tall whites and the Nordics have been interacting, at least with our humanity, our space program, and before, for some time. But that doesn't mean that we have the whole picture